Alright, here we go. Back inside. Alright, greetings, fellow bounty hunters. Intergalactic Space Bounty Hunters, whatever the title is. Welcome back to Metroid Prime Remastered 2023. We're rocking and rolling on the Phenandra Drifts of Talon 4. Nearly froze to death, nearly died to death the last time, but that's not liable to happen again. I was in a rush then, you know. I had a slightly different game on the brain at the time, and so as a result, I was playing a little bit sloppy. I wasn't exactly putting my all into it. I apologize for that, but you know, this YouTube thing, it's not as easy as it looks, you know. You think you're just sitting around playing video games, but then you start making the videos, and you start doing this, and you start doing that, and it's a whole lot more, and that's kind of a fun process, you know. I've kind of alluded to this, kind of danced around it in some of the recordings. How much you really start to learn about this process once you do the process, but, you know, that's really where the magic happens, is where, you know, all the stuff you didn't see coming. That's actually the good stuff of the YouTubers experience. You know, I can't think of a single YouTuber I've ever watched or seen or even, you know, been cognizant of that like knew what was gonna, you know, what was gonna make their you know, what was gonna make their money. There's, you know, it's always like they were trying to do something else and then they came across this thing, you know, and it was good times, you know, like no complaints, but definitely wasn't what they were expecting to do. Anyway, you know, for me, to say nothing of some of the games I've been playing of late, that experience has really been. Sorry for that, I had an ear thing. My experience has really been the audio commentary. Excuse me. Yeah, I shot the blast shield. I shot it real big time. But it's blue, so I guess not. Alright, well. Anyway, for me, that was audio commentary. I kind of thought I was done with that because I don't really like doing it, you know? Like, I've never really considered myself super good live, you know? Like, recorded live. It's always kind of been a weakness of mine to kind of go that way with the projects I'm working on, and gas-based propulsion. Can I lower these somehow? We're rapidly approaching the parts of the game that I don't remember. So, you know, again, part of the reason I don't do commentary is because you can't play good when you're doing commentary. You can only play so good when you're doing commentary because you're putting so much in your brain. Oh, okay, so I can swim. That's great news. I was really worried that, yeah, I was gonna just, like, drown to death if I touched the water, but since I can swim, that's fine. Anyway, you know, like, so now I'm doing commentary. Now I'm doing a ton of commentary games, and that's, you know, it's great. It's changing the nature of the channel, changing the nature of the way I was doing things. I was not planning on having to come up with stuff to say, stuff to do, whatever, while I was playing these games, and more to the point, I wasn't planning on having to play games that I have to, you know, think of stuff to play, stuff to talk about during. So I have a script now, you know, I have a semi-convincing script of things that I'm supposed to say while I'm playing the game, when the game runs out of interesting things, when I run out of interesting things. And I do recognize we're kind of at one of those moments right here, because I'm having a dickens of a time figuring out what I'm supposed to do next on this puzzle, and my ear keeps on itching, and the blaster over here is all kinds of intact, so we could also do it. I just biffed it in terms of, like, you know, like I was just racing in here. I wasn't exactly, you know, putting logic and thought behind, like, my navigation, so who knows what cues I maybe missed on my way out into this place on what I should be doing next. But the simple fact of the matter that the alert went off and said, hey, listen, Samus, you're supposed to be doing this, is a pretty good sign that this is where I'm supposed to be going. I'm just, you know, missing / too dumb to figure out, yeah, it's not those. I don't know. Well, let's run around and play Metroid. So, I decided on what I was gonna, which, you know, game in the series I was gonna play next. It's, you know, it's Castlevania. and Castlevania, you know, has kind of played both roles, you know, in terms of like the gameplay style. I screwed up again. It has both been kind of an action platformer type of game, and it's been a Metroidvania adventure type of game. All ballistics, report to Hydra, Western Temples in lockdown. New personnel must report to the source. So that's what I'm saying. I'm assuming those are clues, all clues that I'm in the wrong area. Like I got myself to the wrong area, and since I'm new personnel, I must have to go south. Now, does the map give any clear indication what south is? Behind the blast door I can't open. So I'm just going to assume I took the wrong entrance to Fenandra Drifts to get down here. I'm going to go back to Magmore and see where there's another elevator. Anyway, yeah, so the next game I'm going to be playing of this ilk, it's going to be 2D, it's not going to be 3D, but it's going to be Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And depending on how much of this I play today, tonight, this weekend, you may be watching it this very week. I played a metric ton of Minecraft, and you guys got to experience a whole week of that, and while that was kind of fun for me, I recognize not everybody's down with Minecraft. I mean, I'm not. That game pisses me off to no end, so yeah. You might not have had the greatest time just like watching it ad nauseum. Anyway, had to get it out of my system. I had, you know, just a lot of desire to play the game, you know, like part of this is not just me, you know, mouthing off and doing stuff for you guys. Some of this is just me entertaining myself, and yeah, that was just scratching the itch, which it's never done before, you know, like Minecraft's been around for 250,000 years. Yeah, I've never really wanted to play it a bunch. And even now that I'm playing it, I never really hit a point where I wanted to play it that much, but boy, oh boy, did I want to. So I did, and now it's over, thankfully. You know, I got it out of my system. We're gonna go back to playing Minecraft, you know, once a week like it belongs, and, you know, as a result, plus a little phase-on residue, that's fun, that's great. I just love, you know, the skin and things. What's this thing do? Report any signs of magma predator. That's Central Security. Well, what happened to Central Security? Did they have an issue with the magma dragons or whatever that they said, you know, we should let them know? Well, the puffers are here. Alright, so let's do a little map work. There's another elevator up, and it's all the way down that hallway, and it's up, so I'm theoretically, you know, like at this, wait, so this is north. Yeah, so that's got to be the, yeah, okay, I must, okay, that's fine, that's absolutely fine. Now, how do I get to that door? Is it that? Oh, stop shooting me! You know, by trade, I'm kind of a console gamer. I love console games mostly because, you know, as you've probably heard me complain, I don't like games that do a bad job of explaining themselves, you know? I don't like games that do a poor job of, like, illustrating the game's concepts, that make me do the work, that make me jump out of the game to experience it, you know, like that's I've always hated that, which is why, you know, I've had a lot of discussions throughout the course of my life with my friends who are really hardcore PC gamers about, you know, I mean, who hasn't had the discussion of which is better, but it's always just like, well, you know, this game that you claim is your Jesus Christ that, like, really makes PC gaming what it is, you know, like, the only way you can enjoy it is if you've already played it. If you've already, like, someone has already taught you how to play this game through and through, or provided you with an avenue to play it, then it's awesome. It's okay. But then you jump on a console, and the consoles, I mean, granted, this is a bad example because I'm having a bad day at Metroid, but, you know, the consoles are always just like, I mean, there's bad console games, yeah, but there's never, I've never played a big console game that required me to do a lot of homework that was successful, you know? I mean, there's been a couple that, like, doing the homework, doing the extra reading makes it a better experience, but, you know, kind of the hallmark, this is just sitting there about to blow fire at me, kind of the hallmark of, like, a good console game is that, you know, you pick up the controller and you play it, and it's just good, you know? It's just a glorious experience. And for my money, like, that is good. Like, that is a defining good characteristic of a product. If it doesn't have that, Yeah, he was chucking me right in. Yeah, I don't know how to get out of. Oh, I do have a jump button when I'm in the ball. I didn't know that. I mean, I probably did, but I'm doing a bad job. Okay. Let's try. Let's. Can you just eat a bomb, please? No. Oh no. Oh no. He chucked me back in the stuff. Oh no. He chucked me back in the stuff. Okay. We're just. Okay. He chucked me back in the stuff. Getting chucked in the stuff. Why won't you hit a bomb instead of just me? Like, I realize I'm what you're after, but I thought you guys were, you know, confused about the nature of me versus bombs, and you would choose a bomb if need be, but alas, you know, I can't seem to make sense of my mission, much less what I'm supposed to be doing with all the creepy monsters on this crazy planet, so maybe, you know, we're just gonna try this different... I did this last time. The point is, I think I went through here, and I think I found where I was supposed to go, and then I promptly went the wrong way. But that's okay. That's all part of the Metroid equation. You know, like this experience that I'm having that is like a little bit frustrating, like that's the point of the game. And the game is designed so that even if I absolutely suck and these little jerks keep tossing me in the fire over and over again, I can still have a good time playing the game. Now, wait, I can't, oh, because I went the wrong way again. It's just like, it's fine. Anyway, you know, like Minecraft gives you no such direction, and it's really kind of fascinating to me from a psychology standpoint that people are into it. You know, like if I've learned nothing else in playing, you know, now 20 to 30 hours of Minecraft, the game everybody, you know, talks about so in such great terms of accessibility and like exposure, and everybody needs to be about a part of it, is that, you know, it really takes you like 20-30 hours to really like just to understand it, and you still don't get everything. Like I don't even know how to make carrots yet, but it's, you know, it's a process. So at the same time that I'm going to keep on suffering through Minecraft, I'm just going to drown you guys in console games. I'm just going to drown you guys in some old games that came out on Nintendo consoles that were, you know, well, maybe not even Nintendo consoles, because some of them were going to go Sony. I'm just completely lost now. I'm just completely lost. I thought for sure this was going to lead me to the Fenandra Drifts, and it did not. Now, there's a couple passageways that I have not explored here in the Chozo whatever, so I think that's what we're gonna have to do, right? Because we must have just missed something. And if we didn't, this is just a dumb episode of me backtracking, and that's fine, because you know what? I still have 2 more Metroid Prime scenes to play. I did figure out how I'm gonna do it, you know, like Metroid Prime, well, you know, so this was a script item, but, you know, we've naturally transitioned to it. I completely forgot the Nintendo GameCube existed. You know, Nintendo made that whole silly system with the mini discs, you know, and the little like handle on the back. It was like a lunchbox, and it had like a buttload of cute games. Buttload is a generous term because it didn't. That's why, you know, it wasn't Nintendo's best choice. But suffice it to say, there were a couple of gems on it, and yeah, that's where these games came from. It wasn't. Nintendo 64 couldn't handle this crap. Nintendo 64 could handle like GoldenEye and a couple of the early Turoks. No, the GameCube, it just blew, you know, they blew it out of the water. They're like, oh my god, you won't believe what we'll be able to do. And that was when they were finally like, and we're going to do some first-person games, guys. You know, like historically Nintendo avoided the whole first-person thing. Then they did the GameCube, and suddenly it was alright for them to dabble in a bunch of Western genres and invite a bunch of Western devs to work on their system. You know, they made them finally got themselves a Metal Gear again after God knows how many years of not being able to make Hideo Kojima satisfied with the technology. And I still don't even think they successfully made him happy with the technology. I think they made somebody ported it, you know. But point is, you know, that's another GameCube game that I might just play, because the GameCube version, you know, the weird thing about the GameCube is, because everybody wanted to show off their Nintendo ports of all their technology, you know, a lot of the Nintendo ones, they had a lot of super, like, perks and things in them. Secret characters. The GameCube version of Soul Calibur was the first time Link ever made it into a fighting game, like a real fighting game, you know. I think he'd already been in a Smash Brothers or 2 by then, but that was the first time he was a guest character, definitely in Soul Calibur. That might have been the first Soul Calibur with guest characters. I feel like that was the whole thing. That one had Spawn, that one had Heihachi, and that one had, yeah, Link on the GameCube. Anyway, that's where 2 of the Metroid Prime games, Metroid Prime 1 and Metroid Prime 2, were released, were created. And I went backwards. And then Metroid Prime 3 was Wii, you know, the very first Wii, the Nintendo Wii, and I remember the reason I only played that one like once, not only because I didn't have a Wii, but because, you know, the idea of Wii motion controls at the time seemed very stupid to me. And I've mentioned a couple times that I was a young hater, you know, that was the thing I hated, was the Wii motion controls. I got over it, you know, I think we all eventually got over it as a species, as a people, you know, like, congratulations for growth, but Nintendo was there ahead of us, you know, like, shoutouts to Nintendo, and, it took me a while to get on board. Anyway, once I got on board, you know, then it was like, oh my god, there's so many cool games that I could have been playing, that I could have been seeing, that I could have been enjoying. And I started to dive in, but by then, you know, I had Logan, and he really slowed down my ability to both afford and play video games, which is now starting to release. I'm starting to get all that time back, all my time and energy, you know, and as a result, you guys can go on this... Oops. You guys can go on this little journey of mine of self-rediscovery, going back through games that I definitely enjoyed the crap out of, like, played so much and were really good games, and, you know, now the trick to this is, you know, unlike my PlayStation 5, unlike some of the other technology I got going for me right now, you know, it's hard to record on some of those systems, man. The architecture, the hardware, the things, it's difficult, because, you know, just like... So, I'm not going to be able to just play whatever I want from the past, you know, like I have my Super Nintendo, and that's great, but it's a pain to set up. I have my Genesis and God, you know, like whatever else, and it's a pain to set up. I'm going back to the temple, and the temple's the worst possible place you can go. There's nothing of value at the temple, unless you have to scan those things first, but I don't think that's the case. Don't know what's in there. So yeah, I think one of these must be where I'm supposed to be going, and it doesn't matter, because the game is really fun anyway, and you don't care. You're just watching the video. So, you know, if this turns out to be the world's worst playthrough of Metroid Prime, I apologize. That's my bad. But we are going to do it. We're going to go through all the way through this thing, because it's going to take me that long just to figure out how to make the only emulator that allows you to play Metroid Prime 2 at a reasonable frame rate and stream it. You know, I did some research. I was on vacation for the past week or so. And I did my best not to work, both at my day job and my quote-unquote hobby job, you know, like during the course of my vacation. I tried to make sure I kept my brain cells off, focused on me, you know, focused on healing, recovering, etc. But, you know, one of the things I did while I was on vacation is I did watch a lot of my videos, and of course when I watch my videos, that gives me ideas for more videos. You know, I've expressed on a number of occasions that the way I make my videos is I make something I want to watch, you know. I do have some commenters, I do have some, you know, hardcore fans who stick around, show up at pretty much every recording. You know, but they, you know, there's only so much you can glean from your fans, especially at this stage of, like, personal, or not personal, but at this stage of, like, channel development. There's only so far you guys' comments can take me in terms of, like, what I need to do next, what I should be thinking of. So, a lot of times, you know, I use you guys for inspiration, but that's, you know, like, you're gonna suggest something that I either am not gonna want to do, or, like, I can feel myself gonna flame out. You know, like, that's kind of why, just to go back to Minecraft for a second, it was a shock to me, and why I keep going back, and why I'm not dropping it ever, because, you know, it was like, again, what? I enjoy this? Why do I enjoy this? And, like, unfortunately, how else do I get this, right? I have to, you know, I have to play. So, but, you know, it's fine. That's, you know, like, believe me, if the cross I have to bear is that I play video games, oh no, then, like, I'll do it. I don't watch a lot of YouTubers when I was younger, you know, when I had much more time for this sort of thing. I watched a wider variety of YouTubers. I was definitely more into, like, just seeing a ton of people playing a game, just seeing a ton of people, like, just seeing the game, you know, like, from start to finish, a million perspectives, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, a lot of the not Minecraft, a lot of the YouTubers I was following back then who, you know, they've moved on. You know, they've moved on, and I haven't necessarily attached myself to the newer ones, you know, some of the people who've replaced them, some of the people who have, like, taken up the mantle of what they used to do. I'm just not into it, and I'm at a phase of my life now where, you know, what I'm doing is less and less about entertaining myself and more about both growing my brand. I guess I am trying to entertain myself. Like, let me tell you that lie that I'm not having fun here. It's just like I'm having targeted fun. You know, when I was young, when I had just scores, countless hours of time and energy, you know, I wasted it. I wasted so much time of my life doing nothing. And, like, you know, maybe those are the things that inspired me to, like, do the things that I'm doing now. You know, maybe, like, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't spent that time, like, powering through, like, you know, Devil May Cry 2 or something. But at the same time, it's like, dude, Devil May Cry 2 sucks. Why did I waste so much time playing Devil May Cry 2? You know, or, like, so many shows, movies, things that I just, like, watched, committed myself to, that just, like, they sucked. And, like, I did them so much. Anyway, that's the risk I'm at now, right? Because if you've heard me, you know, complain at any length of time in my videos, I'm not into a lot of things. Well, it's not that I'm not. There's a lot. There's a lot of content out there now, and a thing that can happen when, you know, like, you can. It can suck, you know, like, it can suck, and I don't want to watch, don't want to see, don't want to do anything that sucks. Okay, like, and that's huge, right? Because there are a lot of things that I have to do that suck, you know, like this is pretty, you know, this is life, humans, you know, you got to do stuff that sucks. I don't want to do entertainment that sucks, you know, like, I occasionally have to do entertainment that sucks because, you know, you spend time with other people, because other people have different tastes, and you don't necessarily want to rain on their parade. Like, there's all sorts of reasons that you might wind up having to digest content that you're not really into. Anyway, that's, you know, that's... Excuse me. The world's worst Metroid Prime playthrough continues. You know, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna rag on anything because, you know, that's gonna give away the fact that I hate certain things. But you know, it's just like, so what I do now with my time is I play video games, you know, because for whatever reason, playing video games in this way, playing video games and recording videos out of them, playing video games and recording videos out of them while I talk to myself about whatever, you know, sometimes about my personal life, sometimes about the crazy things that are going on in my universe. This is growing towards a profit, you know. It's an insane idea to think that this thing that I'm doing might one day be profitable, but it is a legitimate thing. And it only happens as long as I stay, maybe not focused, but, like, you know, like, I can't derail the train, guys. I can't derail. Ain't no getting off of this train we on, I guess is the best way I could possibly put this. Literally, ain't no way of getting off of this YouTube train I'm on, and that means, you know, House of Dragons is gonna have to wait, you know, like Arcane Season 2 is gonna have to wait, and even a bunch of video games, you know, games I play are gonna have to wait, because that's the only way I'm gonna build this channel. It's the only way I'm gonna keep myself focused on making this channel, and some of the other goals I have, you know, like the YouTube channel is just one prong of the growing True Warriors enterprise. You know, I've mentioned some of the YouTubers that I've watched have moved on. You know, they've like advanced to the next stage. Can you just shoot this open? You can just shoot this open. That was my problem in Phenandra Drifts. unbelievable. So the good news is, you know, I learned something, right? You can just shoot that thing open, even though it doesn't look like you can, and I should have scanned it. I should have scanned it the whole time I was looking at it. I was like, you can just scan the thing over there. It's probably fine. Anyway, I didn't, and now, you know, I'm all the way here for a missile expansion, so I think I'll probably name this episode Missile Expansion, so I never confuse myself as to how much time I actually wasted in this episode, but I definitely wasted a ton of time in this episode relearning a skill that I already had 10 years of my life prior. But that's fine. You guys are on board for the world's worth episode of my Metroid Prime? So am I. I also might edit it out, you know, like we might, none of us might ever even see this, because it was stupid, you know, because I did something really, really stupid. But I said some good things. I said some interesting things, and that's fine. I don't have too much, you know, like so that's, you know, so we're gonna play Metroid Prime 1, you know, like we're gonna play Metroid Prime 1, even though, like, you know, maybe everybody's not feeling it, maybe everybody doesn't want to watch this whole one all the way through, but, you know, a time is gonna come down the line where I thank myself for doing this, and I thank myself for seeing it through to the end, and along the way, you know, like that. If I had, like, we wouldn't be playing Symphony of the Night. And that's crazy, right? Because Symphony of the Night is one of my favorite games, but I just never would have come to the conclusion that I could play Castlevania Symphony of the Night on this YouTube channel, and then, you know, roundabout, we've made it. So, I'm gonna actually head back to the Phenomena Drifts on this recording, and I'm gonna shoot another episode after this, but I have to take care of some, you know, I have to parent a little bit. But the point is, I'm gonna try and get way deep in this game. I'm going to try and record way in advance, so it's going to be one of those situations where you guys are recording on videos I made like forever ago. But the point is, I want to be well into this game kind of comfortably, and then that'll be when I start you know, Symphony of the Night. There's going to be some other games that, like, you know, that are in there. I've had a lot of ideas while I was on vacation for what I wanted to do next, what I wanted to play next. Had a lot of thoughts about how I wanted to do it, you know, that I was talking about commentary earlier, and then I got distracted. You know, I was not planning on doing commentary on my channel, but now, believe it or not, I think I have a good way of doing. Like, I don't think not just a good way to do it. I think I you know, like, I understand how I'm gonna do it. Before it was just kind of like, you know, do it, you'll figure it out. But now I think I understand, you know, the whole commentary concept, the way I'm doing. Let's just try and see if I can go through here. It wouldn't hurt, right? Like, if I can make it through here, that would definitely save me some travel time. So there is this, you know, I didn't go through the script, right? So this is another room that I need my grappling hook to get through, and there's no, like, balls, slots, or anything hidden over here, and nothing but fire and death. I have not passed through fire and death just for this. Cool. Yeah, and I'm kind of proud of. I never cracked open the script. You know, I don't know if I'm actually. You know, it's just. I don't know if I'm proud of that or not. I don't know if I'm proud of the fact that I didn't crack open the script. I mean, the script is backup, right? It's like, hey, in the event that you stop being entertaining, you know, I wrote down some things for you, and that's, you know, like a nice favor that viewing Phoenix does for playing Phoenix, because playing Phoenix doesn't always, you know, have the most hilarious things at the tippy. Excuse me, is my power beam off? Why, hey, Samus. Oh my god. Yeah, let's go. Get some secrets while we run back to Magmore. Yeah, like, tons of this is going to be edited out, so we're definitely going to run a little longer than 30 minutes. The sweet spot for audio commentary videos is still 30 minutes. You know, I would like to say that I was going to be able to do everything an hour's worth of, like, audio commentary, but I just don't have it in me. Chozo script. Many long years have passed since we Chozo took root on this land. The passage of time has always been a source of fascination. It is believed many Chozo stages that hide the truth of the universe hide within the crumbling tournaments. Times flow even as we search for answers. There we unexpected, we know not, but recently many gone realms beyond strange sights, filling us with what take this side, burgeoning infinite. Finally, the universe's secrets are becoming known to us. Yeah, like the Chozo lore is kind of fascinating, but it's also kind of all over the place because, again, like not everybody involved in the Metroid equation knew the whole story. Like that's the weird thing. Like that's what happened. Like they made this game, they made this fantastic series that everybody wanted to get a piece of the pie on, and then there was like a huge discussion, like disagreement internally on how the actual sequel, how the actual series was to be gone forward. That's the sad, like truth of the Metroid series is that it was just real confusing. And they're okay, so we found a new save point, and honestly, I guess that's fine. Like that's fine for an episode. Flippity floppity floop, you guys. Sorry I didn't get anywhere, but at least I think I talked about some interesting stuff, and most importantly, I'm back. Shoutouts to you for watching.